Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Starladder Season 8, Day 9, Game 6. We're here in the home stretch. Last match of the day coming up. Four friends and Krilly going to take on Mouz Sports. We've got a good one coming up. Zayori with me once again is Merlini. Merlini, my friend, thoughts coming into this game here?
Mouse Sports, they underwent some roster changes, I believe. Very minor though. I guess it looks like Exist is there for the Link, I believe, was playing for them.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think they had like a couple of stand-ins before, but now it looks like it's stabilized out a little bit. They were looking okay and decent shape in end of October, early November, but the past couple of weeks they've kind of been in a, I wouldn't say a slump. They just been trying to work out things with their roster reshuffle. But they've been looking pretty decent, actually. They beat out super strong dinosaurs in a best of three in Natalic, and that's pretty respectable, especially considering SSD's recent results, beating pretty much everybody in Starladder. Four friends was Krilly. We just saw them play not too long ago. Two stand-ins. Didn't work out too well for them. Let's see if they can bounce back in this best of one.
Yeah, I'm digging on Rise's icon. Is that the old Furion? Is that what that is? That blue guy with the beard? Dota 1 Furion?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. I like it.
Malfurion Storm Rage. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I like it. Blast from the past. So, interesting stuff happening here, though. Lone Druid, first picked by 4FC. He's really fallen off in popularity. No one can
Krilly used to play that hero all the time in 6.78 though. So
Krilly? Oh yeah. I guess he has, yeah, is that off laner. Still, interesting to see here. Always love some Lone Druid action. Shadow Demon as well, another rarity. A second pick, Shadow Demon at that. Visage and
going back to 6.78, here we go.
Yeah. I mean, I do like Shadow Demon. Not a bad hero. I think maybe a little bit underrated, but second pick material, debatable.
Yeah, he's good in some particular lineups. He's especially good if you have a Priestess of the Moon on your team. Yeah. He is very good versus very heavy ultimates, single target ultimates like Bane ultimate, as well as Beastmaster. But for the most part, he is slightly lackluster in this patch, at least.
Yeah. So, we will see some Bristleback action, though. CM, Bristleback, first two heroes. But is this pronounced, is it Mouz Sports, or do you say Mouse Esports?
I say Mouse. Mouse Sports.
Mouz Sports.
Their tag is MOUZ, so I usually just go by Mouz.
Mouz. I say Mouz Sports, but that E always throws me off.
Mouse Sports.
Mousy Sports. Bristleback CM. I don't know. I'm still trying to decide how I.
CM is a stronger opening for sure. Bristleback Crystal Maiden is a way stronger opener.
Oh yeah.
Than Lone Druid Shadow Demon though.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. A little bit more flexibility. It's one of those things about Bristleback. You can put him in sort of a couple of different positions. You can kind of try lane him, but he really seems to shine in that solo role for sure. CM valuable as well. The Kunkka ban.
10 seconds remaining.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, they do like actually Mouse Sports likes running Kunkka. I was thinking that they run Kunkka SD a lot, but that's actually Mouse Sports who runs Kunkka a support role.
It's pretty interesting. I mean, Kunkka, the only time I see him banned is some teams still like to ban him against OD, but they took out the OD as well, so that's a little bit peculiar. Alright, Bane going to be the fourth ban here for 4FC. So a lot of the scary heroes have been banned out here, but whoa, Big Daddy Leshrac going to get picked up here. All right, they got my attention. I always love seeing Lesh.
It's a very early push. I think they could sneak in a Pugna pick and just roll them in towers. So Mouse Sports has to be slightly prepared for that, I'd say.
Incoming Pugna fourth pick, Furion last pick. Be some weird lanes, but they could do it.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be that bad, actually. You could just offlane the Druid, solo mid the Furion, and tri-lane Lesh Shadow Demon Furion. Or, pardon me, Lesh Shadow Demon Pugna. Getting tired. Game 6 is always when that fatigue starts to sit in, although you ate not that long ago. Tummy's rumbling. I had a little bit of cheese and crackers during my break. All right, puck gonna get picked up here.
Dire team
Good little bit of anti-push. So what else is Lesh good for, other than that early bit of push? With the Diabolic,
he's really good at early roam with Shadow Demon.
Yeah.
That was a very popular 6.7 combo. Lightning is actually good at anti-push too, if you need to switch roles. So Leshrac is good at that. What else is it good at?
Mouse sports.
Not that much else. It's either a push or stun lock with a setup stun, or anti-push. So that's he's very fragile, and someone like Bristleback can totally abuse that, because Leshrac, if you go Edict and you go march up to Bristleback's face, Bristleback will destroy you. But for FC, they have the Timber Saw too. I like Timber Saw a lot versus Bristle.
Why is that? Just his armor?
No. His pure damage goes through Bristleback.
Oh, I see.
Pure damage can't be reduced by anything.
Right.
So unless you have BKB, then it just gets prevented. But Bristleback will not prevent Timber Chain, as well as Chakram, and the Whirling Death takes off a lot of Bristleback's strength. So if he reduces HP pool, he won't Quill Spray as much either. So I think he's a very good pick versus him, and the armor, as you said.
Yeah, the armor. I was thinking defensively, not aggressively, but yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Be able to burst Bristleback down, or you have to be able to kite him with like Sleep, with like Disrupt, with a lot of slows. Like Venomancer's pretty good versus Bristleback too, just because he has a hard time killing the wards because they don't take any damage from Quill Spray, and if he can't move around in fights, then he's not very useful.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Enchantress now going to be picked up to go with Mouse Sports here. So a nice little bit of aggression for them as well. Although Enchantress can be a little bit of a double-edged sword a bit. But we see it a few games where she's really become a liability if she doesn't get any momentum early on, especially if there's a lot of pressure coming her way in the jungle. Can be a little bit tricky. Good hero overall, though.
Dire team pick.
It's a very good hero. Like Fnatic actually first picks Enchantress often. So I mean, it's definitely, if you can play the hero well, though. It's not a very easy to execute hero. You have to be able to control at least one lane minimum with her. If you AFK jungle, it's a complete waste of a pick, and you would just do much better having an Enigma or even a Chen. I think would be better if you're going to AFK farm. But just getting the early lane control is just so incredibly good.
Yeah, she is good. I like Enchantress, but yeah, she's just an odd jungler because you take the creeps and then they expire. She's, I don't know. It's
so
an
useful
interesting
because you don't
style.
have to worry about them dying though. Like Chen, like, oh crap, my creep died, I gotta get another one.
Yeah,
but
it's just a different mindset. Like I can play Chen a little bit. I'm not good, but I get it. Enchantress, I struggle with the timers of the creeps. I feel like obligated to have another one on call.
Oh really?
So,
I feel like most people feel the opposite. It's like easier with Enchantress because you don't have to worry about your creeps.
Yeah, I don't know. I worry too much about them. I don't want my creeps dying on me, so I get paranoid about the timers.
That's awesome. You like suicide them in a tower. You like basement spells out from them because you think they're gonna get the kill, and then it just expires, and they don't get an experience. Or like, WTF? And it's just it's extremely. I don't know. I myself prefer playing Enchantress more. And she has better defensive capabilities with the heal. Like Chen, if you get caught out, you're just gonna die most of the time. But Enchantress, you pop your heal, can often TP out too. So she doesn't have a large HP pool, so she's very bad against high burst. But like someone like Venomancer, you should be able to survive no problemo.
Yeah, which is pretty fun. But Juggernaut going to be that final pick. So looking like we'll have Enchantress in the jungle, maybe a solo safe lane Bristleback, CM Juggy, pretty solid duo lane. Could work out quite nicely. Gyro ended up being the last pick for 4FC, so they're not going to do some crazy all-in push strat, but still a fair bit of push themselves between the Lone Druid and the Lesh and a Gyro. A pretty well-rounded roster overall.
10 seconds.
I'd say 4FC's draft is very unconventional. Like Timbersaw and Gyrocopter are usually very early picks, and Lone Druid and Shadow Demon Electric are also very late picks, but all in all, I would say like Mouse has a slightly stronger lineup just because I think like Bristle's kind of like flavor of the month hero. And CM is, I think, a stronger and more versatile support than Shadow Demon and Leshrac, because Shadow Demon and Leshrac, they're pretty much pigeonholed into getting kills early, and if they don't, they'll fall behind. But CM can just jungle, Enchantress can jungle too effectively, although I think it's sort of a waste of an Enchantress pickup. It is an option if you need to do that in case you're scared of the Shadow Demon Lesh kind of roaming on you. So for FC, they really have to be on par with the coordination, though. If they miss an early kill because the Shadow Demon and Leshrac don't coordinate their disruption and stun properly, then they can fall really far behind.
Yeah, to always go back to that, it's a little bit more of a difficult one to execute. I mean, disruption, easy to land. I guess it's not that hard, but it does take some coordination. And you're right, though. The onus is sort of on them to make those kills happen. If not, that's a lot of wasted effort. But, yeah, the Edict. It's always interesting. I remember the days of the Lightning Storm, Lesh primarily, where you can just totally zone somebody out by leveling up Lightning Storm, because it hops a pretty long range.
Improve the cast animation on that. They improved the cast animation on Edict, and it went a long way into him being a much more popular hero. But now with Edict kind of just being gotten, I wouldn't say too much, it's just gotten way more often. I would say that Lightning Storm needs a slight buff. The cast animation is just really long.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it looks like there's going to be a quick reset here. Crit on the Crystal Maiden. Going to have to feed his hamster, powering his computer. Sparky the Wonder Hamster.
Yep.
Well, during this pause here, we can talk about tomorrow. We can drop some teasers here, Merlini, because tomorrow is actually a day worth teasing. Let me scroll up here in our Skype group. So tomorrow, we have 7 matches coming up. I know it's hard to believe. 7. Wow, that's a lot of Dota. But they're good ones. We've got Aspera versus next.kz to kick it off. Then we'll have Fnatic versus 4FC. Sort of a slow start, but whoa. Alliance Na'Vi going to be our 3rd match tomorrow. Then Fnatic versus Poseidon. Then Fnatic versus Alliance. Then we're going to have QPad versus Fnatic. And we'll round it off with Aspera versus 4FC. But needless to say, some pretty big matches tomorrow. A lot of Fnatic.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of games, too.
Yeah, a lot of games, and at least, 2 Alliance games, 4 Fnatic games. It's pretty exciting. Fnatic Alliance and Na'Vi Alliance in the same day. That's just madness.
Madness indeed. I'm excited to see Alliance play. They haven't played like too much recently. They've been like a lot of LANs, and a lot of them have been very high profile games. I think like they need to just regroup and find some time to relax back in Sweden and just get back into the groove of things. Like when you travel a lot, it's just very difficult on your lifestyle. And they have underperformed in some recent tournaments. Not that they did badly at EMS or MLG, but not getting to the finals of either of them is something that no one would have expected like 3 months ago. And I think they're definitely still a top team. They just need to get back in the groove. Same with Na'Vi.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's one of the things that as a spectator we don't really get much of a taste of, is player fatigue and what the lifestyle of being one of the literally the top tier 3, top 3, something like that team in the world. You're all over the place, man. You spend a lot of time on an airplane, on buses, traveling, staying in hotels, and it definitely does drain on your psyche after an extended period. So I think you're right. That's one of the problems with Dota, man. We don't really... I guess our only off-season is following TI. There's sort of a dead period of a month or so, but I don't know. I guess compared to most sports, it's not very much downtime. I mean, the NFL season is not very long.
Nope.
So I think you're right, though. They've been playing okay. And some of it with Alliances, I think they're one of those teams that, as we've mentioned, I mean, it's not really a secret. They're pretty predictable in what they want to do. They have their signature heroes. Everybody knows their signature heroes. It's not usually a surprise draft that they pull out, but it's a matter of just their crisp execution. And I think some of that style of play is sustainable to some degree, but as people start to adapt to 6.79, I think the Alliance play style is, I don't want to say falling out of flavor, but sort of just too predictable. Sometimes you got to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. It's a little bit predictable, and it was working very well for them though. Like people just didn't know how to play against it, but now that people know how to play against it, you just have to, vary it up, keep opponents guessing, and unpredictability goes a really long way into winning matches.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's true. It's for a long time it worked well for him, but now, sometimes you just gotta change it up, try a new strategy, and yeah. I would have thought they would have made it into the top 4 at MLG for sure, though. I think their performance at EMS was lackluster, but okay. They made it to the semis. And
yeah, they still looked good.
Close game 3
in their games too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
MLG though. I mean, I thought they were a shoo-in for top 4, no problem.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Surprising. Oh, MLG. That was a lot of fun. That was the best MLG I've ever been to, hands down.
That was the best one I've been to, but only one I've been to.
Whoa. Yeah. Setup was nice. Everybody was so friendly.
Yeah, I wish there were like a better place to watch a game. You could only watch it like on the main stage, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like at TI, you could watch it like in so many different places.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah. That TV they had in the VIP area was like, it was cool that there was a TV there, but the fact that the top of the screen was cut off was terrible. Like, the in-game timer is pretty important when you're like trying to take notes for the analysis couch. Like,
it's very important. And on top of that,
drove me crazy.
yeah, you couldn't see the kill score half the time too.
Yeah. It's just like, it'd be one thing if I was watching for fun, but like I'm trying to like, remember specific numbers here, and I can't even see what's happening. Oh, man. So, all right, we are resumed, and I think we're ready to rock and roll here. Again, guys, welcome to Game 6, our last match of the day. And let's introduce our rosters. On the Radiant side, we have Team Mouz. We're going to have Crit supporting on the Crystal Maiden. Rise going to be on the Enchantress. Ace going to be playing on the Bristleback. Exist going to be on the Puck. And Unicorn going to be playing on the Juggernaut. Now, we are going to have a 5 versus 5 meeting here in the jungle. And, let's see, who's going to find the initiation? I don't know that either side will. But it is a party.
30 seconds to battle.
It's a 10-man swing here. All right. Not going to find anything quite yet. On the Dire side, we have 4 friends and Krilly. One of their stand-ins, Brodette, going to be on the Shadow Demon here. Going to have Krilly himself playing on the Lone Druid. Boomski going to be the one on the Leshrac. Sub, one of the other stand-ins, going to be on the Timber Saw. And last but not least, Strangby going to be hard farming on the Gyrocopter.
The battle begins.
And the battle begins. So, no first blood coming out. Almost a cataclysmic engage, but not quite.
Yeah, look for Rise to be very active in the early game, too. He has a smoke already up on him, and generally he plays a very active Enchantress, so keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've always been told that if you're not playing aggressive on your Enchantress, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's a pretty
good rule of thumb.
Did Sub play mid in the game that we watched him in earlier?
I cannot remember. I want to say no, but if the next question is who did play mid instead of him, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Krilly. Pretty sure it wasn't Strangby. So it was either Brodette or Boomski. It might have been Boomski. He plays mid sometimes, I think.
Yeah, I do not remember.
Yeah, it's eluding me. I didn't take any notes. So let's see here. How are our lanes shaping up? In the top, it is a tri-lane for 4FC. We've got Gyrocopter, Shadow Demon, and the Leshrac here. Lesh just playing in the jungle. Ace is going to be solo long lane on that Bristleback. And our mid matchup is going to be the Puck Timbersaw. Pretty straightforward mid matchup there. And then down to the bottom, going to be that long lane Lone Druid up against the Mouz tri-lane. So Juggy just going to be farming away down here. As we see Krilly trying to do some fancy work with the bear, get a little bit of lane control back. So he'll be able to farm up a bit. Now, Timbersaw Puck. This matchup, I feel like we've seen maybe once or twice, but we don't see it too often. Timbersaw tends to go off lane more than mid. Any thoughts here about a clear advantage either way?
Yeah, I think it's just even. It's just a farm fest. Like Puck can't harass the Timbersaw because he has reactive armor, and I mean he can harass the Puck, but is he actually gonna be able to kill him with Illusory Orb and a Waning Rift? Almost certainly not. And kill potential with ganks though definitely goes in the way of Puck because Timbersaw doesn't usually skill the Timber Chain early, and especially if you can like kind of catch him without any reactive armor stacks, he goes down pretty easily. But I say usually you have to wait until 6 though.
Yep. Yeah, Timbersaw definitely a little bit better in that off lane where he can use those trees, but uh-oh, down in the bottom already. Krilly in big trouble. He's going to work his way into the trees. That's going to be an easy Blade Fury. And first blood going to come out. Juggernaut going to grab it. That Enchantress coming around the backside, going to pull the creeps away. Pretty easy first blood right there. Mouz off to a good start.
He might die though.
Yeah, Rise taking some damage. Nope. Up in the top lane though, while all that's happening, they did dive that top tier 1 tower. Same story, different lane as the Bristleback gets taken out.
That was a big mistake using the glyph before the edict came out.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah. This tower going to fall very quickly here. Ace is going to be back. He'll port to the tower and he'll keep it alive for now, but way more damage coming out on that tower than the one in the bottom here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Exist just farming up mid, Sub just farming up mid too. He has an Invis rune, but still very likely to just be very passive mid lane. Looks like Ace may die again on top.
Yep, that Shadow Demon Lesh combo. Strangby going to be able to go right in the front lines. That Rocket Barrage going to melt him. And the Edict going to be an easy tower kill. Very nicely done by 4FC. Lesh Shadow Demon still have a bit of potency here in 6.79. That'll be a nice 1,500 gold swing in favor of 4FC here at the 3.5 minute mark. Not too shabby to start off this match, and also shutting down that Bristleback, not too bad either. He's only got 4 last hits, and, well, now 2 deaths.
Gyrocopter's damage with Rocket Barrage is not to be underestimated in the early game. I think a lot of people do underestimate. It does 330 damage at level 1, and at level 2 it does 450 magic damage, which is absolutely insane, especially when you consider the cooldown of the spell, which is 6.5 seconds at level 2. So, Bristleback probably underestimated it. I saw him just get stunned, and Gyrocopter just walks out in front with right clicks too. I mean, he can do like a good like 500, 600 damage burst that early in the game, which is actually very insane. Why Gyrocopter is such an quote-unquote OP hero.
Yeah, that is a lot of burst. Double damage rune at the top lane here, or in the top position here, the 4-minute rune. And Lesh as well as the Shadow Demon just going to keep it safe. They are going to grab it. They were smoked up. Ace going to reveal the Shadow Demon. Yeah, now Lesh going to get revealed as well. There's the Disruption. The Split Earth going to connect. Edict as well. This double damage going to make for an easy kill. Boomski going to be the one to grab the last hit. And that's going to make it now 3-1 as we approach the 5-minute mark. Nicely done. These supports getting nice and active. Going to be able to pick on the poor Bristleback again. And all that time just opening up a lot of room for Strangby here. And he's just soaking up those last hits. So looking pretty solid for 4SC to start things off, though. The Lone Druid is getting shut down. Not nearly as hard as this Bristleback.
Yep. Yeah, Bristleback is just not off to a good start. Generally, you view him as a very tanky hero too, and the one that can survive in the off lane, but without a magic stick and with only a stout shield versus the lot of magic damage that they have is just he just can't survive up there. And Enchantress, she can't really help him up there. Like you can kind of stand next to him, split the Rocket Barrage as well as go heal him up with Nature's Attendants, but as far as like just actually sitting there with Enchantress, it's just too far away from the jungle for Rise to be efficient. It would help the Bristleback, but I think it would overall hurt his team out a little bit too much. And now that the T1 is down on top, I think that Bristleback will come under far less pressure. But at the same time, mid may come as a little bit under a little bit more pressure. And Crit already getting caught out on bottom to this
nice splitter.
Constant roaming.
But also a nice Dream Coil, gonna connect with all the heroes there, except Krilly himself did grab the bear. Gonna make it a 1-for-1, Lesh for Crystal Maiden. Pretty even exchange. And Juggy is actually gonna grab a Hand of Midas. I believe it's in transit on the Courier. Yep, there it is. So let's look at the farms here. Juggy versus Gyrocopter, and the Juggernaut actually a little bit ahead. And speaking of the top lane, Gyrocopter putting a lot of pressure on this Bristleback. The call down, doing enough. Is he gonna be able to finish him? Oh no!
Oh no, that's a big win for Mouz there, and that's a big kill swing too, because not only does Bristleback survive, but Gyrocopter dies, and he is very close to his Midas gold, and I'm surprised that he was playing that aggressively when he is that close to his Midas. He also had 10 magic stick charges.
Oh wow, that's a big misplay. I mean, that bristleback was 8 HP.
Literally one
like
hit
that.
away.
Yeah, that's close. So now we look at this graph. Things we're gonna swing way back in the way of Mouz. Still, well, all right. I should rephrase. Swinging back into their favor here, but Forbes Diesel maintaining a lead, experience lead though, going the way of Mouz. So nice swing of events here. This Juggernaut is starting to look a little bit scary now that he's had his Midas ahead of everyone else, and well, #1 on the net worth chart by about 500 gold here. Unfortunately for Krilly, not able to contest him all that much.
And the CMR is just extremely useful too. Like Juggernaut sometimes has to go for an early battle Fury so he can sustain himself mid lane and see a lot of action.
Yep, just saw the Timbersaw fall. Now Shadow Demon going to be in a little bit of a sticky situation as well. Is going to use a defensive disruption and will survive as Gyrocopter makes his way in, but still going to be a kill on the Timbersaw. Nicely played by Mouz. So, sorry, you said something about Battle Fury on Juggy?
Yeah, he doesn't have to get Battle Fury this game because he has a sustainability from Arcane Aura. Like, generally, you have to go, like, some regen item, at least one. Magic Stick generally isn't enough because you have as much HP as you want with just spamming a Healing Word whenever it's up. But you often have to just run back to base, and that makes your farm really inefficient. But when you have Arcane Aura to supplement your mana, then you can just keep farming away. And a hero like Gyrocopter, like generally they look at their builds are like almost exactly the same. But yeah, usually you have to like be inefficient because you have to go home and heal, and that cuts down on a lot of time. And some people underrate it, but with HOD, with lifesteal is generally okay. Any like casual bottle is pretty good too, but Arcane Aura plus Healing Word definitely serves in that, and they can keep up pressure on the map because of that.
Yeah, up in the top, Lesh gonna fall, Bristleback actually gonna survive. Gyro not gonna commit to it.
Now he's getting to that point where like if they had just killed him that one time, then String B would have done a little bit more damage. It would have enough damage to kill him. He would have probably has like phase boost by now instead of being 300 gold away. So that one death, it just totally ruins the balance of this top lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lesh conceding another death. Now Bristleback making a good bit of recovery farm, even though his record not so hot. Only 1-3-1 and 19-5. He still made a little bit of a recovery here, so not too shabby for the old Bristleback, and we'll see where item route he goes into here. Probably going to be an early
Black
Vanguard.
Bear.
Yeah. Oh, Big Bear.
The Black Bear.
The Black Bear.
Form of the Onyx Grove. Cool.
So 5-4 here. Mouz starting to pick up momentum though. Puck doing pretty well in the mid lane. Now 48-10. Up against the 38-4 Timbersaw is level 8. Gonna grab that Blink Dagger right now. A pre-10-minute Blink Dagger, not so bad for that Puck. That'll
Not bad at all. And I hadn't
little
really seen Exist either. Like,
Yeah.
I think he was a stand-in, or at least their roster replacement. I guess he's not tagged as a stand-in, but so that's pretty impressive. And versus Timbersaw, no less. Like Timbersaw, he has like decent base damage, and he can still like last hit and harass pretty effectively. With the early blink, looks like maybe an early easy kill and sub.
Yeah, that Impetus doing a lot of damage here. He's going to try and Timber Chain, but won't be enough. The Dream Coil going to be burned for that as well. Maybe not necessary, but still a nice kill on the Timbersaw. Going to further Puck's advantage. Down in the bottom lane here, Juggy in a little bit of a sticky situation. He is going to get caught by enough crowd control. They will finish him off. Now Crit going to be in a little bit of trouble as well. He's going to use the Freezing Field. That'll repel. Exist now going to come in. Doesn't have the Dream Coil, but will have enough to finish off the Shadow Demon. Going to hop to the Orb. May be able to finish off Blomberg here. Can he juke the Split Earth? Indeed he can. Not going to have the damage to finish him, though. Nor Krilly. Oh, so unfortunate for Exist right there. Two close calls, but not going to be able to capitalize on either. Going to make it a 1-for-1. Juggernaut for Shadow Demon. Not what Mouz was looking for.
Actually, the Dream Coil in mid, like before it wouldn't have been that useful, but now that they nerfed Timbersaw, so that if you get stunned, like your Timber Chain gets interrupted, it's pretty useful too, especially since the Timbersaw went max Timber Chain. They also had very good coordination of their spells. It was like full duration silence into a coil, and then as soon as the mini silent coil ends, the Centaur stun comes out. So they overall are working well as a team, and I think that Mouz is not too far like the gold lead suggests like a 1500 gold lead, but I think 4FC they're definitely falling behind too. Shadow Demon and Leshrac both level 6. We see Enchantress at level 8, and same with Crystal Maiden. So the support levels are a very big difference. XP graph will show that.
Yep, and XP graph 5,000 in favor of Mouz. Nice lead there, but whoa, in the mid lane, looks like we're going to see some trouble here. And, ooh, the Split Earth not going to be there. Look at that Centaur Stomp, beautifully done by Rise. Exist going to be able to finish off Shadow Demon, and the Dream Coil going to come out. Another stun, are they going to be able to interrupt him? No, but they're going to have enough damage.
No uphill miss.
Yeah, wow. That Centaur stun, though, that's kept Rise alive. It was really nice.
He's really good with Enchantress, too. So, Mouz, yeah, they're doing very well in this early game, and surprised to see them in pretty good shape, even with the stand-in. But I know they have good players. But now, Unicorn already with Phase Drums, Midas 12 minutes in. That's pretty impressive farm. Gyrocopter, Phase Midas, but still 1,000 gold away from his drum since he sprang for an Aquila.
Yep. You know, I actually know what you're talking about with the bear now. I was looking at the Spirit Bear. I see how Krilly is the black bear. I'm with it. I didn't get it at first, though. That took me a few minutes.
Oh yeah, I was like, he's like huge. Crit might die here. He has to be very careful about when he chooses to engage.
Yeah, you see him cautiously backing up, but are they going to be able to finish off Krilly here? Brodek going to come in. Ace not going to pursue. Well, he is going to sort of pursue here.
He has so many stacks on Krilly. He could have easily killed Krilly.
Yeah, I always thought he was just going to chase through and just another spine or two.
Oh, he can go for the bear too. That's 300 gold, bro.
Oh man.
Oh. Unicorn going for it. He has the Omni Slash.
Yep, there it is. Might have been nice to catch a lucky bounce to the bear and finish that off, but still nice.
He could have like the creeps were right here. He could have like put his bear over here so that hopefully it like bounces this way. But that's still like kind of a long shot. But it's better than what happened. Yeah, he was just like here, and then creeps were here, and then there's no way it's gonna bounce like that. Yeah, and then he's sad. Sad black bear.
Sad black bear. Yeah, I saw it in chat, and then I looked at it and I realized, oh, the bear himself, not that wrong bear. There's too many bears. But yeah, things still continuing to look good for Mouz here, and they actually
Shadow Demon and Lesh burning through smokes.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah. 2-2 Midas here. Bristleback just grab. Oh no, 3-2 Midas now. Wow. Bristleback gonna grab his here at the 14-minute mark to go with the CM and the Juggernaut, and one on the gyro as well as the bear. He's been moving it back and forth, I think. Yep. But right now, hiding on that Spirit Bear, and oh, Unicorn. Are they gonna dive?
They can't kill him though.
Not easily.
If they disrupt into a Split Earth, he'll just spin, and then even if they purge, I don't think they have the physical damage to deal with it.
Oh no! Puck gonna hop in. Nice initiation here. That's gonna wreck Strangby and Boomski. They're both gonna fall to start this off. The call down comes. Unicorn may be in a little bit of trouble here. He's gonna try and head for the hills. He'll survive. Impetus gonna do a lot of damage. That's gonna finish off the Shadow Demon. A 3-for-0 swing. Things starting to look a little rough.
Krilly in mid.
Yep. Oh, Ace going to chase him down. I think Krilly may be slated to fall right here as long as Ace doesn't get entangled. That was going to be the next word out of my mouth, but he still may have a chance here. He's just going to turn on the bear. And, yeah, he's going to about face, but still 3-for-0 swing. Great initiation from Puck, though. That burst damage just obliterated those underfarm supports. And as you mentioned, that experience graph telling quite the story. Lesh and Shadow Demon still the lowest in hero level, only 6 and 7, and they are quickly falling behind here.
Yeah, this is such a different Puck than ZXE's on Power Rangers Puck, though. Like, he's so active around the map as soon as he gets his blink and choosing very smart engages and not dying in the process. As their mid hero, you should almost never give a 1-for-1 unless it's their mid hero, because you don't want to give that much experience away. It's huge how much experience he gives away, especially since he's almost level 12 right now. So he has just been doing extremely well. He has a Dagon, Blink, Bottle, Brown Boots, TP Scroll, and 15 minutes, 16 minutes into the game. That's pretty incredible considering how active he's been too.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, that pre-10-minute Blink is always a good sign, and now a Dagon. Dagon tends to be that item on Puck that when you're ahead just gets you further ahead. Whoa, a nice Split Earth onto crit right there. Well done by Boomski. That'll be an easy kill as they do converge. But Exist is here. He wants a bit of vengeance for his buddy. He's going to get it. He's just going to tag on Lesh straight away. I don't even know if he needed the Dream Coil for that, but still. Not going to play with,
String B gets a tower mid. Gets Omni'd.
Ooh. So he does grab the tier 1 tower kill in exchange for his life across the map here. Trading Crystal Maiden for a Lesh. I don't know, Gyrocopter for the tower? Who gets the better of that trade?
Lush for Crystal Maiden's okay. I mean, Crystal Maiden's higher level, but a kill for 4FC is more important than a kill for Mouz, since the 4FC is so far behind. And in mid, it depends on if Gyrocopter spent his gold. It looks like he did because he doesn't have any, or he's very low on unreliable gold. So if he spends his gold, then it's definitely okay for him.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If it's planned. Juggy, though, he's going to be pretty close to that Ag Scepter. He's got the point booster, got himself a Blade of Alacrity, and about 500 in the bank, so about 1,500 or so. He's going to have himself a Scepter. Up in the top lane here, though, Krilly, under some heavy pressure, he is going to get disrupted, and Crit is going to throw the Freezing Field. It's not going to be enough to secure a kill, though. He is going to pay with his life. Bristleback and be able to finish off the Shadow Demon here as he moves about the trees. Ace going to find a nice spot and try and pour it out. No, he's actually going to cancel it. Looks like he wants to make it happen. Didn't get down to see the Omni Slash fast enough. My apologies, folks. I was keeping an eye on Ace here. He's going to stay toe-to-toe with this Timbersaw. A little deforestation action going to come about. And now Juggernaut going to join the mix. This Timbersaw going to be in big trouble. Doesn't have the mana for Timber Chain. And, yeah, he's going to be destined to fall. While all that was happening, Rise was able to finish off the lone Druid. Going to have a nice Force Staff out of the call down. Exactly right, my friend. Now the Dream Coil comes. Strangby in trouble. And, yeah, this is just very quickly turning into a disaster for 4FC. Mouz just with the superior teamwork right there. Very nicely executed.
Timbersaw needs a magic stick. You almost always need a magic stick versus when you're playing versus Bristleback. It's just so annoying to deal with without a magic stick. You might as well get something out of it. I'm surprised that he doesn't. If he has that, Timber Chain's way easy. Easy escape.
I mean, is there ever really a situation when you shouldn't have a magic stick?
I think if you're pushing, sometimes you don't need it. Like especially if you have to stay in the far back. But for the most part, you always want magic sticks. Like a Versa hero like Lone Druid is not very good too. But almost always there's going to be like a couple of heroes where it's going to be very useful against. And if it saves your life once, it's already worth buying it. So I think the times that you shouldn't get it is like less than like 5 to 10% of situations. Maybe less than like 10% of situations. It's very low though.
Yeah.
It's generally a safe bet. Oh my gosh, why'd you get a magic stick? Like, how often have you seen that?
That's true. It's a fair point. I've never heard that. That's one of those sort of classic things that people say, like, what's the most underrated item in Dota? It's the magic stick. And we'll see Lesh get taken out in the bottom lane. Magic stick not going to save it from that one. Double damage Puck hopping in with a Dagon. Yeah, that's a recipe for death. Still level 1 Dagon, though. Puck with about 2.2k in the bank. I don't know, what would you say is the most underrated item in Dota?
Probably Rod of Atos.
Oh, yeah? You think it's that really, like, a good value?
I think compared to how bad people think it is, compared to how the item actually is, I think it's there's a big gap in there.
Yeah,
I also think that Shiva's is a bit underrated, too.
Yeah. I would say Vlad's, honestly.
Vlad's is really good. I would agree that people underrate Vlad's.
Yeah.
I would say even top 4 are Atos, Shivas, Vlad's, and BOTs.
Okay. I can get behind that list. I mean, it's not that I think people think Vlad's is bad. I just think there's too many games where neither side gets a Vlad's, and it's just like unbelievable. True. It's so good. It's basically like
it's so good. Even on range heroes, it's really good.
Oh yeah. I think it should be a higher priority for a lot of supports, but it's just me.
Yeah,
especially
5 armor's ridiculous too.
Yeah, especially if you have like low armor heroes. That armor aura is really the big thing. I mean, people get caught up on how lifesteal doesn't go to the ranged heroes, but I care more about the armor than anything else. That's where I'm coming from. But
and the thing is, like, even if you spend 900 gold, and it looks like Brode's gonna die here. Even if you spend the 900 gold, that's like less than half the item cost, and you share everything with your other heroes. So let's say you're paying 1100 gold, you're sharing it between 2 heroes. You're getting like 2200 gold if you're sharing it with like 1 other hero, and if you're sharing with 5 heroes, the item is just so useful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree. And Mouse, I mean, they're just so far ahead. They're just picking off people right now, including the Bear, who they have killed enough times, and he's actually not going for a Radiance either. Gyrocopter trying to farm up his BKB. He is actually very close to it, but even so, it doesn't matter that much. Bristleback still with his physical damage, and a Juggernaut with his Omni Slash can still pick him off, so it's not the end-all be-all item. It's not necessarily even a big turnaround item for 4FC, so 4FC's chances are fairly slim, I'd say. They do have Midas Scepter on Juggernaut. They do have a Midas and almost 4-staff on Crystal Maiden, 4-staff Mech, and a Midas on Brizzle. So they're very well geared for the late game too with their mass Midases.
Yeah, 4FC getting close to that point of no return, but with a Midas on the Gyrocopter and the Lone Druid, there's still a sliver of hope. But speaking of Vlads, not too often you see like a Vlad's first on Lone Druid.
It's good if you need to do Roshan and you want to get back in the game. Otherwise, it's not very good. It's very similar to Anti-Mage, where you just need that mid-game burst because you're so far behind that you won't be able to get to the late game. And Midases are useless if the game lasts 25 minutes, as we saw in rox.kis versus 4FC. So now they've wisened up and gotten more mid-game items. Unfortunately...
Puck just going to obliterate. A nice Dream Coil going to come out as well. Omni Slash... The Blade Fury, a call down comes, but going to be too little too late, I think. Strangby's got a BKB on. He's going to try to stand his ground. Not going to be enough, though. That's going to be a 3-for-0 as they try to move into the Roche Pit. Now Timbersaw going to be in big trouble. Waning Rift going to silence him. He will commit suicide, but that's it, Merlini. 22 minutes.
Yeah, that was all Rise, though. Rise had a Centaur in there. He expected that the only way that they could get back in the game is by sneaking in Roshan, and maybe they noticed a Vlad's pick up on Lone Druid, and Fog is yelling at me that Pipe's so fucking underrated. 900 range. But Pipe is underrated. He's right. It's so underrated that I forgot about it. But, yeah, Mouse Rise with his Enchantress play and the Centaur Scout at the end just really sealed the deal for them. I think Puck played extremely well too.
Yeah, absolutely. Puck 6-0-8. He was one of those. I mean, Exist was pretty quiet, and then all of a sudden he just had these big items and just exploded with damage. So definitely an interesting game. I don't know. Do you feel like 4C got out-drafted in this one? I mean, they do have an unconventional draft, I guess you could say, but it seemed like Mouz just really executed.
They just got outplayed.
Very crisp. Yeah, crisp execution. So, all right. Well, that was our 6th and final match here, guys. So it did end a little bit early. That was 4FC versus Mouz. That wraps up our Day 9 coverage of Starladder Season 8. We got Day 10 coming up tomorrow. Again, we've got 7 matches. The mighty Alliance versus Na'Vi. El Clasico will be tomorrow, as well as is it Alliance versus Fnatic, I think, is the other big match, as well as quite a few others. So you're going to be here tomorrow, right, Merlini?
Yes, I don't think on Wednesday, though. LD will get in touch with you, though.
Okay, yeah, for sure. All right, just curious on the spot here. So that does wrap up our coverage. Thank you for joining us, guys. I'm Zyori. With me is Merlini. Make sure you give us both a follow on Twitter at ZyoriTV, at Merlini Dota. They are in the title of this broadcast. Thank you for joining us, folks, on Beyond the Summit. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wait, why did I say 10? 11 o'clock tomorrow, a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, gosh, 11. Just go to starladder.com. They'll tell you. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.